Welcome, everyone. Episode 46 of the Six Man Tech Podcast right here on Apple, Spotify, and if you're on YouTube looking at our beautiful faces, what's up, everybody? I'm Mike. Joining me, as always, right here, it's CJ.
What's up, everybody? CJ Doyen, aka Craig Francis. Glad to be with you, boys. And I brought a special guest with me tonight. I surprised the boys earlier, but before we get to him, I got to bring up the man of 1,000 intros, 1,001 intros, 2023 intros.
It's like, how keep going,
Mr. Skylar Strange.
Actually, I gotta be honest. I did not have an intro for this week. No, my original.
Wait, Mr. No intro needed. Boom, Shane Douglas. No intro needed. No gimmick needed.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
All right, so there, boom,
But,
still an intro. It still counts. Put it on the scoreboard. But anyway, I know, Skylar, you do have something serious you want to note, so go ahead. Sorry.
No. Well, we'll get to that because mainly because CJ, if you will.
Oh, you're throwing it back to me?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We'll get to that later.
Okay, fair enough.
Because this is a joyous occasion right now.
Oh, I'm going to scoop this up. I'm going to scoop this up right now because the reason why Skylar throws it back to me is because our very special guest today, you might remember him from our episode where we got to interview him and introduce him to Katie Vick, Mr. John Hooten.
What's up, guys? That letter was traumatizing.
Way too close to the mic.
Back up
Sorry.
on the mic, buddy.
Sorry.
Either that or turn the settings down, bud.
Turn the gain down.
There we go.
Anyway.
There we go. No,
You
yeah,
sound great right there. Like,
that was
you're fine right
traumatizing.
there. Yeah.
I was engulfed.
The reason why we have John on today is because John and I actually, right before we hopped onto this meeting with you guys, recorded our very first episode of what is going to be our podcast that we are going to be releasing. We're going to call it the Paperweight Podcast. Obviously, it's going to have a lot to do with the Paperweight Project and the music that we're doing over there, but also just us catching up and shooting the shit. And we're going to have our friends on. We're going to ask you guys to come on, I'm sure, at some point and just kind of have fun and shoot the shit with us. Talk about other things besides wrestling, games we're playing, movies we're into.
Life.
But on top of that, I'm sure we'll also come up with some fun things to do as well. Like, some fun games and shit that kind of rely on some of our old stories, maybe, or something like that. We'll see how it goes. But anyway,
maybe a little trivia.
But anyway,
I was going to say, make a trivia based on events that happened in your life.
Oh no,
that's
with
sick.
with all the group of friends and everything.
Oh my god.
You know what?
That'd be
Actually,
interesting.
hold on.
In what
I just got an
state
idea
did the
for all
milk
of
go
us.
bad?
Yep. I just got an idea for all of us, actually. So what we should do when we actually eventually do a Twitch stream, we should all get on and play. We'll play one of the Jackbox parties where they have.
I've been wanting to do that.
Oh, I love it. They have. You ever play the game Fibbage?
Fibbage. Oh my god, yes.
No.
It's a good one.
Okay. So there's a game called Fibbage where basically the game gives you like a prompt, like a little factoid, and it'll be something completely random. It'll be like, I can't even think of an example because it'll be that random because you're not supposed to know the answer. The point is that when it's your question, you try to make an answer that will fit the prompt. Like there's like a fill in the blank spot and you're supposed to fill in that blank with something that makes sense for the sentence and believable enough to get people to vote for your answer. And everybody else is making answers to do the same thing, to try to get points. So everyone's trying to trick each other into picking their answer. The third version of this game has a mode called Fibbage About You, where the whole point of the game is the game asks you personal questions about yourself.
That's good.
That you write the truth to. And all your friends are the ones that make up the lies. And then they have to and then all the answers pop up on the screen at the same time. And then everyone has to guess which one is the true answer.
That's awesome.
So it's a game of like trying to mislead your friends into like, well, yeah, that's something John would do. So if I put that up there, maybe people will vote.
You really got to know somebody.
You got to know somebody a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think we should all do that together one time. That'd be fun.
I think that is fucking phenomenal.
That sounds.
And then in the last stage of the game, it gives you You just fill in one truth about yourself and one lie about yourself. And the last round of the game, you're trying to fool everybody else. Like all the other ones, you're trying to get them to answer the truth because you're hoping that your friends know you enough to answer the truth, and that's how you get points. But in the last round, you're trying to fool them, so you have to come up with like a good lie, like something. You have to come up with something about yourself that your friends would believe.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
It's a fun game. But John,
What's up?
for those of you, for those of everybody else whoever, those people, there we go. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, those people.
I feel like Norm Macdonald up here. I'm just like stammering and stuttering and just like, yeah, let's get to the point. Anyway,
Today.
John, for anybody who might have missed the first episode you're on, where we did show you Katie Vick, unfortunately, and a few other, we talked about.
If I could just interrupt and say, if you'd like to listen to that episode, when you're done with this, go back to episode 40 in the archives.
I actually went back and listened to it. It had me in stitches.
Oh, it was very funny to listen back. At least for me.
When substances get involved, it's a good time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Good times, good times. But anyway, John, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell them why exactly you're part of this Paperweight podcast, Paperweight project with me, and you know.
Well, it all started with two young kids in high school thinking that they're cool. But anyways,
I never thought I was cool.
Sure, best in the world. I don't know about that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, playing music with the same person for 23 years, we got to try something new, you know.
Yeah,
that's why I'm excited for all this, man. You know, doing our own music and then having fun with it, letting people use it is fun too. It's pretty cool to hear it. You know, overall, it's just something to try, something that's different out of my comfort zone. You know, this is all brand new to me. So,
yeah. I mean, you got some fresh equipment over there. You got a nice fresh room that you set up. You got
exactly. Oh yeah, I did all that.
Soundproofing going on. Like you look more pro than me. I got tired of hanging up the flag behind me, so I finally just gave up and actually figured out how to do this. So now I actually have my little fancy digital background, so I can be like Skylar. Which, by the way, Skylar, now that I know how to do this, like you might not be the only one coming up with like some weird background shit in the future.
Oh God. I personally love Mike's background though.
I had something planned originally. Trust me.
No green screen needed.
Plus before you came on, I told Mike, I'm saving this one for next week. He still doesn't know what it is.
Okay.
But you know what's great though is with the green screens with the headphones, you could see right through the air gap.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
that is the funny part
there.
Speaking of green screens, actually, that's one thing I'm looking forward to, since we're talking about like the Paperweight project stuff a little bit. I'm getting all my little shameless plugging out here in the beginning of the episode while we have John, because he's going to leave soon. And then we're going to talk about some wrestling.
Yeah.
But where is the wrestling? But one thing I'm looking forward to, like once, I'm living out here in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, I'm still renting. I do plan to own out here eventually. And when I do, I'm looking forward to like actually building my studio the way I want it. And part of that is I'm going to have the walls painted green. I'm going to have like 3 green walls and 1 black wall with the logo on it. The black wall will have the logo on it, but I'll have 3 green walls that are basically built-in permanent green screens.
Nice.
For shooting shit, shooting videos and stuff. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Oh yeah, they're endless. I have to learn how to use green screen stuff, but
we're just gonna see CJ's head floating. Like, what are you doing, man?
But yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to once I actually own my own place and can do all my, modifications that I want to do. But
yeah.
But John, how do you feel about wrestling right now?
To be honest, a part of me still misses it. Like I do want to get back into it. Finding the time, though, is I'll probably have to watch things after it's already been aired.
I think
that's kind of more or less the case. You're fine.
Before I left, there was a few months there where your daughter was getting into it, and she was looking at YouTube videos of WWE stuff, and then she started asking me about my wrestling. So I showed her some of my matches.
Yeah.
which she loved watching. She loved watching my matches, so that made me happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She
But-
loves just watching people fight.
Oh, so she's her mother's daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. That was good. Yeah.
But so is she still sewing like signs into that? Is she still into that? Or
To a point, yeah. Like if it's on, she'll see it. But without Uncle CJ around, like encouraging it and actually wrestling my children, like
I never did that. I never
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah,
No
sure.
way. No, I never joke slam Liam. Not
I've never
once.
seen somebody so proud about beating up a 4-year-old. Like it's
Hey, listen, your son takes the rock bottom like no other. All right, that's all I'm saying.
I'm not gonna lie, he is good at acting. He really does. Like,
He sells
like,
well.
he could sell very well. I think that's every kid's specialty though.
Oh,
It is. It
Yeah,
definitely is.
exactly. So
oh man. Hey, most of the time, and you know this, they would always start it. That's all I'm saying. Like they would start it. They start climbing on me. They expect me to just start throwing them around.
It's
and that's just how it
self-defense.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
you're just my oldest son, I guess.
might
There you
as
go.
well be.
There you go.
I fed you, clothed you,
Oh
housed you.
man. Dad, I'm
Nursed you.
home. Next time I walk into your house, I'm just gonna, Dad, I'm home.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. I mean, I'm fully expecting that.
Oh man.
Well, I'm gonna get going, guys. Unfortunately, I got work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, hey,
same.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
can come on and do a little intro with
Yes,
us.
thank
We can
you.
talk about our thing a bit, but it's time to get to the wrestling anyway.
It
So
is.
why don't
Hell
you,
yeah, man.
Do you guys? By the way, I know this is kind of like. Do you have? Where's it going to be posted? This podcast, by the way.
Oh, I didn't make all the socials yet, but I do plan on making a Twitter and an Instagram.
Okay.
But well, we're not really, we're doing the 6-man thing, and we're pre-recording a few first.
Yeah, we have
so,
Facts.
So yeah, I
So be
want
on
to
the
have
lookout.
some ready
Well,
to
of
go.
course. I mean, you can. Okay.
It's going to be.
When
I will say it's. I'm going to make the socials, and I'm going to make the YouTube, and I'm going to put it on Spotify and Apple and all the other things.
Yeah.
It's going to be called the Paperweight Podcast. All the socials will reflect that. It should just be at the Paperweight Podcast. Once they're up and running,
Yep.
which I will probably do some point this week. Actually,
Yeah.
just create those and just
Mhm.
get them up and ready to go. So that way,
Yeah.
once we start releasing episodes, we can tell you exactly where they'll be. So be on the lookout for that. The Paperweight Podcast.
Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
LFG.
And of course, you
All right,
follow-
fellas.
Hey, man. Good shit. We'll see you on
I'll let
Great
you guys
seeing you.
go.
Take care,
Great
bud.
seeing you.
See you later, man.
Take care.
That was hoots, everybody. Hell yeah.
JP Hoots.
You totally
Um,
threw me off with that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's-
man.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Like I said, we just got wrapped with ours just a little bit ago. So I told him, hey, Mike and Skyler would probably love to see you and know that you have this
Mm.
little setup going.
Yeah.
Why don't we show him what you got? And maybe we'll start the show off together. And he was down
Hell
for it.
yeah.
I'm glad you guys were
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, of course.
was awesome.
I did. It was
And,
a genuine surprise. I did not warn them ahead of time. So
Yeah, no, I didn't fucking know. All I see, oh, John Hooten trying to connect. I'm like, well, look at that.
What?
yeah.
Yeah, and of course, when the Paperweight Podcast socials are set up, we'll share them on our socials, which you can find on Twitter at 6-man tag. That's the number 6. And on Instagram, of course, the number 6 is always you bitch. Don't spell the word. It's the number at
you dare.
6-man tag podcast.
You boys will be happy to know that I did plenty of plugging for this show as well on our first
Let's
episode.
go.
So
Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
made sure that everybody knows, hey, this isn't the only thing I'm doing. Check out this other shit I'm doing.
Well, such good shit.
It's good shit, pal.
So I mean, I don't know how I do it, how we want to officially
Well-
open this show.
That I
Well-
would like to think past the Skyler. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
yeah, to open.
So originally I was basically before that very awesome surprise. I was just going to use my intro time to kind of not get this out of the way, but let's just do this so we can. Couple hours ago, the news broke that Jam Pew, better known as Jay Briscoe, had passed away. Sounds like it was a car accident. and sounding like another death and 2 criticals as well.
Which again, nothing. I mean, when this podcast is released, there's probably going to be more clarity on it. But as of us recording this, there really isn't any. So I'm not even gonna speculate anything.
This news is
because,
only a couple hours old at this point.
like, literally, what
I
eight-
literally didn't
eight-
hear it until I signed on with you guys. Skylar told me, like, I didn't even know about
Yeah,
it.
I think,
I haven't
like
logged into
8
Twitter for the past few hours, so that's
Yeah.
probably why I was unaware. But and
like
I'm
8,
not
9
on any
o'clock.
social.
Yeah, like 8, 9 o'clock. I think it broke. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
and-
sucks, man.
And he was if you haven't watched any Briscoe brothers or even just Jay Briscoe, stop listening to this and go do that.
Yes.
Then come back.
Guy, obviously there was the Briscoe brothers. And that's another thing. They were currently the Ring of Honor tag team champions
yeah.
because they won the titles
think of
back
that.
in that dog collar match with FTR, which many regard as a modern classic already.
You know, I didn't
Rightfully
even
so.
watch that one. I gotta watch it.
I didn't
It-
watch it either, so
it
little
was
spoiler alert
brutal.
for me, but that's fine. But I will say this: FTR Briscoe's 2, when we all got together and watched Supercard of Honor, I think a lot of us in that room at that time thought that was like match of the year. So it would not
Yeah.
surprise me to hear that this dog collar match is another classic from all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, Briscoes and FTR just seemed like it would be a feud for the ages. They've like they would have more matches and they would all be fucking bangers down the road. And
Yeah, man.
Could have went forever.
and the fact that they were tag team champions, Ring of Honor, they were IWGP tag team champions, they were Impact tag team champions, God knows what else, but and even Jay Briscoe by himself is a 2-time Ring of Honor world champion.
That's fact.
Yep.
Like he was a fucking by far one of the best in the business today, no doubt. Doesn't quite maybe get the attention sometimes because what is Ring of Honor right now for starters,
Mhm.
but it just fucking sucks. Yeah. So I just
I
want
think-
to acknowledge that. And anybody else has anything else to say?
I think I think you put it very nicely there, Skylar. And I do want to say that for anybody, as Skylar just said, I think Jay Briscoe was in a lot of ways underappreciated. I think old school Ring of Honor fans are very familiar probably with his work, but outside of that, there's probably not a lot of people that realize just how good Jay Briscoe was, both as a single superstar and a tag team wrestler as well. And I don't say the word superstar in a WWE sense. I mean, the man was genuinely a superstar in that company, Ring of Honor specifically, for so long, and well deserved as it should be. And I myself, when I kind of first got into Ring of Honor and first started watching it, that was around the time where Jay Briscoe was, I think, on, I'm not sure which title run it was on, but he definitely was the world champion when I started watching, I think. And or either he was when I started watching or soon into it. And it was, he just, the work he does in the ring as a singles competitor, I think, goes very undervalued. And for those of you who haven't watched those runs in Ring of Honor, as Skylar said, go check them out. It's as good as the tag matches are. Watch the man work as a singles competitor, and tell me that guy wasn't a workhorse for that company in every sense of the word, and just a hell of a wrestler, just a hell of a entertainer. And I just rest in peace to him. And thoughts and prayers are obviously with the surviving members of that car wreck, if the reports are true, and there are some surviving members right now. Hopefully they stay okay. And I just wish the best for anybody involved right now.
And also, I'd like to point out he was 38.
Yeah, very young, very young.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Shit,
Like-
Mike and I are 2 years away from that.
Yep. Yeah,
So
pretty much.
Tell people
Yeah,
you
and
love 'em.
it's just not, right. And you say underappreciated, I mean, it's like when guys like a guy like that is so successful for a non WWE or maybe, AEW at this point. So I think it says a lot about, obviously both Briscoe brothers work, but like you mentioned, Jay is a single. It says a lot when someone like that, has a tragedy like this, but it's like everyone knows who you are in the wrestling world. It's, so for someone just to be and when Ring of Honor was probably, every time they kind of went down, I feel like the Briscoes were always a key part and probably keeping them going in terms of whether it's work or drawing or whatever, but they've been there forever. And, it's just they get, again, the testament to their work and, Jay's work, of course, to be leaders for a company like that for a long time, especially the talent that's come through there. So for those guys to be such constants, it says a lot, man. It sucks.
I would just like to say that, to kind of follow up on your point, Mike, I really truly believe that when NXT became ROH and everybody left to go to NXT, the Undisputed Era, your Adam Cole's, your Red Dragons, your Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Once everybody was gone, I would say that the only true draw that company had left for a little while, probably longer than a little while, was the Briscoes.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that far of a stretch to claim that. I think the Briscoes and Jay Lethal probably almost single-handedly between the three of them probably were able to keep that company afloat for years longer than they would have without them.
2018 to present, really.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it definitely sucks. And like I said, there's not much clarity as far as what happened as of us recording this. Hopefully by the time this is out, there is. And if any good news can come out of it, I hope, I hope there is. But like I said, I'm not gonna speculate or, say shit based on Twitter rumors.
Yeah, no, it's especially since that's really not what's important right now. The how and the why is really not the issue. The issue is that a man is dead, and there are possibly more victims that are in danger right now, and they need all the help and support right now. And that's the important thing. And I just we'll find out how and why at a later time, and whether it's an appropriate amount of time or not, it doesn't matter, but we will find out. But until then, that's just not the point right now. But
no.
But as Skylar sent into the group text before we got on today, before I found out about the news of this, I think Skylar put it perfectly. Now knowing this, especially, so I'm just going to quote you here: "What a shitty week for wrestling."
Gee, what else happened?
So I like to dub the beginning of it the Stanford Missile Crisis.
The Stanford Missile Crisis,
because we were this close.
That really popped me. I'm sorry.
It was the 11th hour.
My brain instantly went to Sopranos with that, by the way. That shit was real.
So there was a good 12-hour period where we all believed that the WWE was purchased by what's the official title?
A Saudi investment group.
The Saudi Public Investment Fund.
Thank you.
They own, which if you just some notable things they own are Newcastle United, which they purchased, soccer team in England, which if you're a fan of Newcastle, it's if you can get past all the Saudi stuff, is probably a good thing, because they've gone from mid-table or lower relegation type of team to now third in the league. So for what that's worth, if you're a Newcastle fan and you can put that blood money behind you, I probably would, to be honest. They also they also own the Live Golf Tour.
Yeah,
I figured
that was
which I heard hasn't been the greatest.
No, but because they aren't on They were only on YouTube last year. They have good golfers, but I mean, I would take fucking $50 million too. I don't care where it's coming from. That's me though. But you know, it is what it is. But those are notable things that they own. And they have endless amounts of money. So
And they have investments in other places.
right. But I think those are like the notable
things
sports
that we
things.
probably use every day. I
Right.
think they have like some investment in Nintendo.
I'm sure they do. But you know,
Probably, I'd imagine Sony and Microsoft
right,
would
like
be
you're
far
gonna
off
you're
of
gonna you're gonna play, you know, you're gonna play Mario Kart.
it. Yeah.
But
Of course I
but
am.
yeah, so like I said, the two notable at least sports things that I think people know are Live Golf and Newcastle United. And are they going to add WWE to their portfolio? It seemed like it was a done deal for like 12 hours last week, which was hilarious because we recorded last week's podcast on Monday.
Yeah.
And when I forget, I think it was Skylar that brought up,
like the day it dropped, I think is when like,
Yeah.
or the day after,
Yeah.
or whatever.
the day after we
No,
recorded, all the news came out.
Before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it was, I think it's like Skylar was like, and the Saudis, and I was like, nah, they would keep it domestic. They wouldn't sell. They wouldn't. I didn't even say the Saudis. I just said they probably wouldn't sell internationally. That's probably got to be a whole thing. And then sure enough, a day later, and you know what? It's because like I know people read dirt sheets and people love to fucking piggyback on reporting. And I think that's what happened here. I think like one random source was like they sold to the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and then everybody ran with it.
Yeah.
And this was at like 10 o'clock at night too, to which like I figured, okay, if this is true, news is going to break overnight because it's morning in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. I
When
remember
these
you saying
when the rumors started coming out, and then we all woke up the next morning too. It's just rumors. There's no deal in place. But I also wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if this is a leverage move because, you know, say what you want about the
probably.
Say what you want about the morals of the Saudis, but they're probably going to overpay. Like they're in a position where money doesn't mean anything. So if something's worth $5 billion and they can just go, fuck it, here's 10. What's it, you know, what's it to us? I think. And then there's leverage because if you have Amazon or Comcast or Disney or whoever else were like the rumored players, you want to drive the price up because all those companies have the money too.
Yeah.
But then there were so many components to it of, well, if he sells to the Saudis and then they make the company private again, Vince can just be in charge again. That was floating around too.
There's no fucking way that the Saudis are going to hand over fucking 5, 10, 20 billion dollars and let Vince keep control.
I don't know,
it's
man.
just not going to happen,
dude.
Like
the Saudis,
they're gonna have a say over shit. There's already stuff that I'm sure, like if the Saudi Arabians owned it, would like change overnight. Like wrestling, it would just not be the same.
See ya, women's division.
That's number one. That's gone.
I guess we're getting the return of El Generico.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of other people said they would walk out.
True.
I mean, granted, more dirt sheet stuff, but
I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's but
would not
until
be shocked.
That would be
something happens.
A locker room cancer in today's society. Like there's just too many. There's too
You
many
people out there think CM Punk is a locker room cancer,
like,
Saudis,
which I don't.
on another level.
Yeah, it would be so bad because I mean it's no secret that now today, culturally, especially in the entertainment business, a lot of people politically lean to the left, and they feel very strongly about their opinions. They feel very strongly about their values, and a lot of those people feel that these people that are investing are and especially like with all the things that go on in Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying anything like I'm not trying to get in any kind of political trouble here, but as we say blood money for a reason. Like we've mentioned blood money shows for all these Saudi Arabian shows. Like it's not just a joke. We're not the only ones who say it. There are people on the roster who call it that. Yeah. Like there's a reason why it's called that. And there are going to be a lot of people that just flat out, I think, refuse to work for that kind of environment, especially if they come in and are taking control. And like we said, like women's division gone. You think the boys are going to stand for that?
No.
Like You think they're going to be happy about that? Like, oh, yay, we get more TV time. Like, no, that's not how they're going to see it. They have friends, they have family in those women in that locker room.
So I'm wondering if it would actually get that far realistically,
I mean,
because I don't think they would take WWE out of the country.
No, they're not.
I'm not saying
they're
that.
not. No, they're not. Like the Saudis aren't.
That
like,
was
they're
a
not
fear.
No,
No.
like listen, the Saudi. You can argue where the money comes from for the Saudi fund, but like they're not stupid. Like they bought okay, they bought Newcastle United. They weren't going to move the team out of England and go, no, we own you. You play in Saudi Arabia now.
By the way, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Other companies looking to buy WWE, we got shit to say about you too. Don't worry, just wait.
Oh yeah. Well, like they're not dumb.
Oh,
Like,
nobody's a saint. I do want to just
Yeah.
clarify
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yes,
no.
exactly.
But like they're not dumb. They're not gonna like. It would suck if they bought it, but they wouldn't. I don't think there would be this like drastic change overnight of like, like okay, Raw's and just like instead of like the the Thunderdome, but it's in Saudi Arabia now. Like it wouldn't be like that type of shit. But
What do you
yeah,
think the chances of a Saudi Arabia WrestleMania are?
Oh, fuck.
I mean,
They're going to want it if
I
they're paying all that money.
I can't say zero.
They're going to want at least they might not do it every year there, because I mean I think that's
Oh
just
no,
bad
no, I'm
marketing,
saying just
but they definitely will make it happen for sure.
At
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
we have all these super shows. Now we
Mhm.
need the WrestleMania.
And I'll say this about the Live Golf Tour: most of the events on that tour were in the U.S., but you best believe there was one. There was definitely like two in the Middle East, I think, total. So they didn't fully stay away from there. So it'd probably be a situation like that.
Yeah.
Like sure, do your thing, but you guys are coming over here. Well, how many shows do they do over there now? Is it 2 or 3 at this point? Like it's definitely like multiple.
Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
We're well past that number.
Per year.
Per year.
I thought it was like 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's always 2.
Okay.
I thought
That
you
makes
meant all
sense.
together. I was just
Oh
like,
no. I know it's been more than that.
No, it's at least like 2 a year though.
Yeah. So
I think it's only 2. I think that was
Right,
what the
makes sense.
agreement was.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But because the most recent one was the Roman and Logan Paul. That was the last one.
The weird thing is the last couple have actually been good shows.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
I
know.
normally don't want to watch those things. Plus, early on, they were pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the Saudi princes wanted Brothers of Destruction against DX. And then I think Undertaker Goldberg was a disaster.
Oh, everyone knows that was a disaster. And you know what's kind of upsetting about Brothers of Destruction versus DX? It sounds like HBK was the one that was holding that match together.
It
Which
was.
is yeah.
Let that see.
Yeah.
When was the last time he
Insane.
wrestled?
Well,
Undertaker.
Triple H got injured right away. Kane's been the mayor for Kane's been Mayor Kane for the past like 3 years. So, and then Undertaker, who's only around for Mania, but now he's got to do the Saudi show.
Mm-hmm.
So of course Sean had to hold that together. Sean at least is coaching NXT and everything. So
that's
don't get me
true.
wrong. If Triple H didn't get hurt in the first 5 minutes of that match, it might have been better.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, considering he got hurt in the first 5 minutes of that match,
right.
and the 3 other guys in the match, one of them is a severe part-timer and 2 of them are semi-retired. Well, one of them is fully retired. The other one is semi-retired.
Right.
Like, I mean, granted, Sean's retired too, but at least he was like, he's coaching NXT at this point. He's still like active in the ring. You can, what I mean? Like,
yeah,
when you're coaching, I'm sure Shawn Michaels coaching in the ring, he spends time in the ring and stays in relative shape.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And plus he's Shawn Michaels, let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
No, I agree. But look, they have I don't know what would change. It wouldn't be, I know whoever buys it, it's not going to be this drastic overnight thing, because like what they do works. Like that's why, like, and I honestly think the bigger debate at this point is like not who buys it. It's just, like, oh fuck, is Vince McMahon going to be back in charge of creative?
Yes.
Which I don't
Yes.
like. I think like no matter what, like sure, if the Saudis bought it, was the bigger deal that the Saudis bought it, or were people, I'm not saying us, I'm saying were people more like, oh shit, the Saudis are going to buy it, or oh shit, the Saudis are going to buy it, oh fuck, they're going to put Vince back, fuck. Like what were people more pissed about? It's a toss up.
That is fair.
If you want to
I think it could be a toss up.
If you
That
want
is
to read
fair.
Twitter,
I think
fair.
it could be considered a toss up either way, because like I know me personally, I was just like, I don't want the Saudi Arabians owning WWE. I just feel like they
Right.
would come in and cause too much change and ruin the company. But then when the rumors started coming around about this could be Vince's way back in, as you said, then it gave me another perspective there too. And I thought to myself, like, well, that would be literally the worst possible scenario, like of all things. Like I said to you guys before we started the show, that if the WWE were to sell to the Saudi Arabian fund, like I really don't think I would really watch WWE anymore.
To be completely honest, during the period that we thought this was true, I was very close to saying, I can't do this podcast anymore. I'm done.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it
Cooler
was
had
fun.
prevailed.
well, to be
Obviously.
fair, we would have just talked about anything else.
Yes. Obviously.
I mean, we still could have
together.
talked about old stuff. We still could have talked
That
about
too.
like it's not that we couldn't have talked about WWE. It's
Right.
just that I don't think I would be like a viewer. Like I wouldn't even watch WrestleMania anymore. Like I would just be out.
Right.
I had that thought when I first started hearing it. Then when I thought
AEW
about
would gain another quite a few fans.
yeah, and like I mean,
And
I'm
we
already,
will also, we got something to address with that too, but let's finish this.
yeah. But also when the perspective of Vince coming in as well came in, that would 100% seal it for me. Like I would never be able to watch that company again if they let them do that, because say what you will about Vince, like we did a whole episode talking about this, check it in the archives. Where we talked about our feelings on Vince and how they're very mixed and muddled, and we appreciate the man for what he did for this business and this industry and everything else because we're fans. At the same time, we're all pretty disgusted about the allegations that have come out and everything else involved in this case that has gone on for the past 6 months or so.
And let's face it, we always knew he was a scumbag.
I mean, yeah, but when you have this overwhelming confirmation,
yes,
and it goes even deeper than you could have expected. Like when I think of typical businessman, billionaire, Vince McMahon type scumbag, I think of, yeah, he's probably buying whores and he's probably throwing these fucking parties and he's probably cheating on his wife and he's probably doing all of these terrible things because he has all the money in the world to do it. But once that turns into violating other human beings, you're no longer your tip of the mill fucking scumbag anymore. Now you've reached a new level of scumbag in my eyes.
And if you need further proof that, that shit definitely took place, look at where John Laurinaitis still is. In oblivion, where he belongs.
I just wanted to ask where the whores were from.
Where's ours?
Probably Connecticut whores. Like they got
no, come on.
I don't know.
I know what he's going for.
You'll get
go
there.
ahead, Skylar. I don't know.
Dude, you're the one that lives in the state.
Oh, Nevada? Fuck.
No,
Oh, no? Well, that would have
was
been set up.
I was reaching for a dirty work reference.
Oh. I've never seen so many dead whores in all my life. All right, prostitute, settle down. Anyway.
So
sorry.
that was a moment.
That was a moment. Anyway. Yeah, I can't definitely cannot watch that. If that were to be the scenario that plays out right now, I can't be a fan anymore.
No, I'm with you. And not to mention, like, even if you just take all the allegations, take all that shit out, the product was just people have been saying for
Good.
people have been saying for over a decade that Vince was out of touch and he's an old man. He doesn't know what he doesn't know what he to do anymore. It was kind of becoming true the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
And then you finally saw like almost like a refresh when Triple H took over. And in the last 6 months, we've seen the product improve probably tenfold. So just take all the allegations on Vince McMahon out of it. And I just think from a product standpoint, it was clearly suffering. And it was clearly like you would just see like the gimmicks come and go. He never gave time. And this is nothing new. It's been happening for the longest time, but it was just getting so bad. And then to see how it's, how far it's come in the past 6 months, I think people worried about, well, all that, like, look how far the bloodline stuff has come, and all like we talked last week about how we're going into the Royal Rumble with all these different storylines now for the actual Rumble match itself, which that hasn't happened.
Now I'm fucking terrified.
Which I don't think anything's going to happen between now and a few like months down the line at this point. Like, I don't think anything will like this.
They had us believing it already happened.
Wait till
Wait
till Smarkamania.
This is true, but like
it's gonna get ugly.
But you figure like how far we've come to build up.
Is going to be ugly for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But to build up all this interest and to almost have all that work erased and like that would be insane. Like Vince coming back is like the wrestling of Thanos at this point of just.
Do either of you guys know how the
stock
stock price has been during this whole period without?
Oh,
Vince? Has it been getting better? Like,
I think it went back down a little.
Yeah, but because I don't want to.
Well, I'm not talking about like since this whole rumors of him selling the company came back out.
I think it's been like, steady. It's been.
I think it dropped a little and then was steady.
I'm assuming it took a hit when the whole allegation things happened, right? How is it done?
I don't even know. I mean, I want to say it's probably just been steady. Like I don't think it's.
Which, by the way, one of the craziest things is this wouldn't even be a discussion if things are going to go his way because he wants to take the company private.
So where were we? I'm just gonna say like July. I'm just gonna say July 15th.
Then all the stock owners get buyouts or some shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So July 15th, the stock was at 63.63. That's about when Vince left, right? Give or take.
Yeah, okay. I'd say so.
July 15th. So it pretty much. I mean, it did go up. I mean, if it was at $63 in July, it steadily went up. By November 1st, it was at 78.71. It trickled down a little bit to back to the high 60s on December 30th. And then it shot up with all the Vince stuff. And it sits at just under $90 right now. It's up 70% in the past year for what that's worth. So if you invested a year ago, you're up pretty good. But
yeah, but it's so fucking seesaw because of Vince's announcements,
right? But the stock market's also horseshit to begin with because most stocks don't move based on how well a company does. It's mostly bullshit, and like bullshit news comes out, people buy it.
Yes,
it's like a whole.
No, and I get that, and that's why like that big spike at the end now this past couple of days or week or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's why we're seeing that spike now. But
right,
so. To see that it had been pretty steadily increasing and stuff like that, like you said, from a business model standpoint, do you really want the guy who did it for years and was being criticized up until the day he left, or do you kind of want to ride out this new fresh wave you got going on?
But I said from the business standpoint, I feel like everything's been up in the last 6 months, so why derail that? But yeah. Again, we can say this for 10 hours and we won't get a definitive answer about anything.
I think before we went on the air, you guys said you didn't know too many of the updates going on. So let me just kind of go through a timeline real quick. So shortly after everything kind of happened, first he got slapped with his first lawsuit, which was basically McMahon violated his fiduciary duties by executing the written consent, as he had changed the bylaws to basically impose his will on the board in WWE. I guess a layman's way of saying that is basically he forced his way back in. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yep.
Which is what happened. So after that, earlier today, and yes, I'm using some legal speak. No, I don't know what it means, but I can still translate. Filed a new Form 8K with the United States SEC. The short version is, in their place of a new written consent, it pronounces that McMahon no longer needs stockholder approval for his actions.
Yeah, but I'll just say that you can file whatever you want. It doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Now, well, it kind of sounds like he kind of did,
He did. I don't know.
because he was unanimously
see it,
named.
you know?
He still has 81% of the shares. He
Right.
was voted unanimous chair of the board.
Right.
He brought back two of his presidents that left. I think it was 3 were removed and 2 walked out on their own, something crazy like that.
Sure.
And then as of right now, it looks like a second lawsuit came out for pretty much the same thing, and they kind of filed it as a class action. So
Right.
hey, let's go get a 38 cents for suing Vince.
Yeah. Right.
I think you got to be a stock owner.
In 24 years. I just say class action. It's like, hey, let's jump in. So yeah, Stephanie resigned. Apparently, Triple H has, before both shows this week, have had meetings saying, listen, I'm still in charge. Vince might have some input. I still get the final say.
Right.
Okay, cool. But first off, how long is that going to fucking last? And second off,
Not long, if true.
And second off, the fact that Vince would have anything at all to do with it is worrying, let alone the
Not wrong.
potential for the hostile takeover. So yeah, he took over the company.
So I guess Theory's back on his push.
I was going to say.
Oh yeah,
Not Austin Theory.
Theory.
Thank
Just
you.
Theory.
Yeah, I'm still a little pissed that I lost my last name. Actually,
You couldn't even keep the Strange.
hold on one second.
Biggie needs his Langston back. I'm still fighting for that.
Hold on one second.
But like, what's the end game in all this? Like, because listen, if you're Vince McMahon and you're in your up, you're getting up there, you're in your mid to late 70s at this point. Like if he's truly just coming back to negotiating a sale and just sailing off into the sunset with a couple $1 billion.
Sorry, I had to change my name before legal action was taken on me.
Oh, smart.
Podcast listeners, I just changed my name on my Zoom to just Skylar, as I am now known as.
YouTube
all
saw
caps.
it. Yeah.
Skyler.
But I mean, yeah, it's funny because if he's truly just back to negotiate a sale and just cash out whatever the fuck he has, it sounds like, if that's truly the case, I feel like just nobody believes it.
Pretty much. Why would you?
No, I get it, but
dude wants to work till he's dead. You think he did not want to step out to begin with?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's not even pretty sure. They pretty much had to carry him out kicking and screaming at this point. I mean, we know what happened, where he decided for some fucking strange reason to show up on live TV just to
because
welcome to SmackDown, because I'm just
weird.
gonna wave my dick around in your face because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was crazy.
The guy has balls the size of his head.
It's starting to become clear to me that the $1 Million Man, that whole gimmick, was strictly based on Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think that was literally Vince writing out his alter ego. It was just like, Ted, do this for me.
Wait, were you doing Vince there, or were you doing Ted there?
Both. I was doing Vince doing Ted.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Impression of an impression.
There you go.
But I feel like no matter who he sells to, what's the best option to sell to at this point? What's going to do the least damage?
I still say
Comcast.
ESPN would be the best option.
Well,
I know
ESPN
that's technically Disney in that
Yes.
umbrella, but I think that the best place would be on the ESPN app. That is what ESPN wanted in the first place. They were trying to work out a deal with them
Right.
before it fell through, before they went to Fox. They were pissed that they went to Fox and Peacock.
I
And
So very
so
quickly,
why not?
it will not be Fox because apparently SmackDown has cost them a lot of money.
Not surprising.
Yeah,
Yep.
apparently that it's like
They're not happy with their contract right now.
I don't think so.
Who knew spending $100 million a year on a wrestling show might not work out?
Yeah.
Comcast. I mean, to me, Comcast would be the most logical decision
Yeah.
because you wouldn't have to change that much.
Right.
It's just like, oh, we don't have to pay for
Right.
Raw now.
we
and
did
we
talk,
get SmackDown and everything else.
we did talk about this, but I feel like if you have a company like Disney, any allegations against Vince McMahon, that's going to automatically be like, yeah, no, you're not coming back.
Do
Like
you
whether
think
they're
any of the companies?
but
None of
No,
these
but
companies
Disney-
want to buy the
no.
company with Vince still in it. I will
Right.
tell you that. That's
why maybe-
definitely
listen,
not going to be a thing.
maybe he's truly just back to negotiate a sale, because if he does still own, X percentage of the company, it is, I mean, regardless of what he's done, it is still his right to be able to sell
I mean, there is
that
some
percentage.
there is a fate worse than death in this case.
Let's go on.
Not selling it
Takes it private just to run it.
takes it private just to
True.
run it.
There's so much. There's so much.
It
but
is being floated. And let's face
I
it,
can't. I
when you
can't
think
see
about
it.
it's realistic.
There's such a loss, and there's such a workload that goes into that. It's months and months and months of work to take a company from public to private. I know Elon just did it with Twitter, I believe, but
Yeah,
even him buying Twitter and all that was such a project for that transaction to even go through. That's why, like, also, when those rumors came out, the fact, like, it wasn't like it was going to be a done deal without any kicking and screaming, regardless of who he sells to, because it's just how that shit works. Whenever there's a public company getting sold, you want to go back to, I mean, it's maybe not the same, but you look at the AOL Time Warner merger that was in the works for a long time. So any possible sale of this company, it's not going to go down before the Royal Rumble. Like,
Well, first off, that is absolutely true because in general, those buys take a long time.
yeah,
I mean, in the video game world, I don't know if you know about Microsoft trying to buy Activision
Everything?
Blizzard. Well, yes, everything, but Activision Blizzard in particular right now.
right.
And that is getting fucking dragged out, and that's getting a bunch of lawsuits. And I do kind of wonder, speaking of which, if the lawsuits that are currently happening right now are going to tie a sale up, basically.
It probably, but because
I see at least a
any-
few more coming.
because like shareholders still have their rights, so like they can have their say, how much it means. I don't really know that much, but yeah, it just seems like any transaction that goes down nowadays is a long process, especially if there's objections, which I'm sure with this there will be from somebody.
There already is.
Right. So so
Multiple people, and I'm sure more lawsuits will come.
right. So
I'm
like,
sure-
Is it going to
I'm
have an effect
sure-
in the long term?
yeah,
Eh.
because
I
like,
don't know, man.
and when
I
you
really think this could shake things up a lot when you think about it,
It
because you
is.
can think, like, when you think of all the talent involved too, because you don't think that there's going to be certain talent that might even want to probably
Well,
try to sue if they're that unhappy
yeah.
with whoever they sell to. Like,
but if they're independent contractors, how much rights do they truly have?
that's also true, which I also think is still, and I've said this on the
We
show many
all-
times,
yes.
the biggest fucking ripoff in the
Yep.
world. I
Mhm.
think.
Yep.
I think the fact that there's no wrestling union or any kind of like representation for wrestlers out there is criminal at this point in this day and age. But
Agreed.
I think people are afraid to do it because if you're like lower on like an indie card and you want to unionize and people are against, the amount of money that they might have to spend. I think on that level, maybe there's objection to it because you have indie promotions. Like if you're unionized, like I don't know where that money comes from, or if it's any independent wrestler like paying some kind of dues to
Union
that
dues.
union, which would
Union
cover
dues.
that. No, I get it, but then where does that fall on like these small promoters that that book this talent? Some guy gets hurt and they go, "Sorry, pal, here's your $50."
for
like-
small promoters, like if you're working shows like I was working back in the day, that's
Right.
one thing, because like you're mostly kind of seen as a student at that point. But if it's any kind of wrestling company that has any kind of like real television deal, like, and that includes like a sponsored YouTube show, even. I'm
Right.
saying,
Like
if they
I
have some
maybe
kind of
not.
sponsorships and they're pulling in real money to a company and spending money on production values and
Right.
stuff like that, they can afford to pay their wrestlers decent wages. And that's where I think the line
And
should
health
be drawn.
insurance.
And health, well, that
Agreed.
too, yeah. But I'm
Right.
saying that's where the line needs to be drawn. And I mean, like, you can still bring in independent guys to do shows, but then like maybe, you know, if you're not contracting a guy and you're going to bring independent guys, okay, well then maybe there's going to be like some kind of money amount built into the fee that will cover a night of medical
Yeah.
expenses. You know,
I
your
also
medical insurance
wonder,
coverage.
not even from a promoter standpoint, or it should, like, everything should be unionized. Unions fight for workers' rights and shit of every man.
Speaking of scummy people, anyway.
But like I wonder, I just wonder if like wrestlers are just lower level wrestlers are scared to do it for getting blackballed.
I mean, that's
Like if someone
I guess
like,
that's the obvious fear.
if someone like
'cause
Roman Reigns says it, no, you know, whatever, you're Roman Reigns, no one's gonna, but if, like, I don't know, if, I'm blanking on like some low cost, like not even WWE guy, just some like
Akira
mid-level.
Tozawa.
Sure. If someone like that says it, they'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, you've been released.
I mean, that might be a real thing. And yeah,
Right.
maybe certain companies might be a little more wary of who they're hiring and what spots
Right.
they're putting people in because of
Right.
these expenses. But,
Right.
you know, unfortunately, the number one thing about companies that don't like unions will try to do is make you fear unions.
Yes.
And I know this from personal experience. Like as a young adult, I worked at Walmart, and I can tell you personally, my first 2 days of training had very little to do about how to run a department or work the store. It mostly had to do with the fact that unions are bad and you should never talk about unionizing with your fellow coworkers.
Yep.
Like literally 2 days of training, basically saying, don't talk about it. Don't discuss your wages. Don't, this is the reason why they might look good, but really they're bad. And you don't want to be a part of it anyway. And the way we treat our employees, you would never need one anyway, because we treat everyone fairly here at Walmart. Like, it was just nothing but propaganda bullshit. And, considering that I spent my past 10 years as a union worker for the state, a good union. Well, no, what should have been a good union. It's a terrible union. And I have no problem saying that out loud. But a statewide fucking union for the past 10 years, I'm still thankful for what I had, I guess, even despite how useless I saw them at times. It was better than having nothing.
No, I agree with you.
I was in a union for A&P for a decade.
Yeah.
I was in the meat union, which is because I was seafood manager, and that union was pretty fucking good. They took fucking care of you. I have a pension. It's not a big one, but it's one.
No.
Something, yeah.
I mean, same with me. Like my pension, I don't have my full pension because I only spent 10 years there. You got to spend 25 to get the full thing, but I have something. And when I unfortunately, again, like, I got to wait for it, but once I turn 55 or whatever, I can take out a pension. And I have at least a little something coming to me, and I'm still young enough where I can go get another pension job between now and then. And I mean, well, the job I'm working now actually has a very good retirement system set up because it's an employee-owned company, and we get stock benefits every year. So there are literally people that I'm not gonna like talk about my fucking job out here, but like there are people that retire from there with like $1 million in their account because that's how good their retirement savings accounts are.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
So, but
I kind of steering back a little bit to sales. Should we address the least likely yet? I'm just gonna fucking say it. The cons.
Listen, it would be hysterical.
It would be fucking hysterical.
It would be hilarious. Like,
not gonna happen.
No, never say never.
But I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, never say never.
I think Vince has too much pride to ever let that happen. Like, I think like even if they offered the right amount of money, I think Vince would still be like, no,
Well,
I
Tony-
can't do it, pal.
Tony doesn't have enough money to be able to pull that off.
No, but
Shad
he-
does.
Yeah,
I was
but
gonna
you
say,
think
they
if
might.
Shad Khan gives fucking Vince a call and says, "Hey, I want to buy your wrestling company," Vince isn't gonna go, "Yeah, sure, pal." Like,
Yes.
I don't think so, man. I think
Um,
I think he knows what.
Here's
like,
the thing.
Shad's not buying a wrestling company to run it against his own son. He's buying
No.
it for his son.
Well, here's the thing. First off, they would just merge together. You go, and the reason is you go with the WWE name. That is a global brand that makes a lot of money. Shad Khan knows that. It's not something that has to be built from the ground up. It has
Right.
God knows how many decades of background to it.
Yep.
Like it's like, oh, we don't have to do the building. It's already there.
AEW.
Holy shit! What if? Hold on. Here's a real what if scenario for you. What if Shad Khan does buy WWE, gives it to Tony? Tony turns around to the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and says, "Fuck you guys, I'm out. I got the big leagues now. Good luck trying to keep up." And he just gives up his rights as, or not, like, I'm sure he wouldn't give up his rights, but what if he just like sells his fucking rights back to the fucking elite and just dips?
You don't think they would try to merge the companies?
The elite?
Well, wouldn't that all be Tony's decision at that point? Well,
No,
and Shad?
I'm sure if that obviously that's the optimal solution, because then you can
Yeah.
just run both, like whatever. But I'm saying, what if?
He
What if
has
Tony just wants to run WWE and he's just like, I finally have the biggest wrestling company in the world.
he would just have
He has a booker.
yeah. He would. I feel like Tony
The
Khan would
answer
just
to
have.
that book. Sorry.
You don't think Tony Khan on a few line rips would just be like, yeah, WWE. I don't care about anything else anymore.
He would. I feel like he would just
Allegedly.
He would put WWE title matches on Dynamite like he does ROH title matches now. Like, oh hey guys, Gunter against fucking Dante Martin this week for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, Gunther would slap the shit out of Dante Martin.
And it would be
Dante
glorious.
Martin would try to do some fucking high flying shit, like some moonsault off
Right.
the third, and he would slap him while he's upside down.
I'm trying.
I mean,
I'm trying to
to be
name all
fair-
those dudes.
That would be a
that
cool
just-
spot.
To be fair, Gunther and
To be fair, sorry, I'm a little late.
actually watched some of the new season of that. Fantastic. Gunther and Ricochet had a pretty fucking good match not that long ago on SmackDown. And Ricochet and Dante Martin are basically the same build. So
Right.
yeah,
Well, like
I
I
want to
said,
see that
yeah.
match.
They're
No, like I
basically
said,
the same guy.
I'm just naming those go-to like AEW dudes when they need a job.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
it's pretty much it's usually him.
I mean, we're not going to get Takeshita any
What
wins,
about,
so why not him?
True.
What about QT Marshall?
Oh, there you go.
Marshall, there you go. What happens
Send
to the
out
factory?
Send out QT Marshall versus fucking Walter. Let him just fucking chop him.
Yeah.
50 fucking times. Because I'm tired of seeing QT Marshall.
I got tired of seeing him before I actually saw him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of QT.
Not
I
at
thought
all.
QT was going to be better. For all the things I had heard about QT, I thought he was going to be better than he is, because
Mhm.
I had always heard good things about QT, but I've never actually got to see him wrestle. And then he comes into AEW and I got to see him wrestle, and I was like,
That's it.
this is a guy who's supposed to be like a coach and one of the best wrestlers in like I've heard all of these things about this guy's technical ability and storytelling, and I'm just not seeing it like at
Mhm.
all.
Agreed.
But I don't know. I feel like somehow that's what that would turn into. Like, all right, I guess we'll put Roman Reigns on this week. All right, put him on at like 8:45. Quick 10-minute filler.
Thanks for stopping by, Roman.
I don't know,
Oh my
something it would just devolve into that. It'd be so fucking funny.
I don't know, man. That's a real fucking crazy scenario to think about.
I don't. It's not. I mean, it's not going to happen. But
No.
I mean, listen. I don't know. We can talk about this forever, but it's the biggest thing going right now.
Yeah.
It's the biggest rumor mill, dirt sheet bullshit, whatever you want to call it. Going today. I know that we kind of spent 2 weeks on this. This episode's probably the same thing as last week, more or less, just more elaborate, I suppose. But I don't know. It's everything's everything's either up in the air or it's not at all. And like I said, maybe Vince truly is just here to sell it, and then he's gonna be gone.
Best case scenario.
At this point, I think I'd have to agree. As much as I didn't want to see it kind of out of the family, so to speak, I was kind of hoping. And like I said, it doesn't mean that a potential buyer won't keep Triple H around and maybe bring Stephanie back or whatever. But I was kind of hoping for something like that, where we'd still be able to see Triple H in control and things kind of running the way they've been running for the past few months. And the thing with a sale is that you never know what they're going to want, and you never know. Like maybe they are just, this is what we're buying and this is what we want. Or maybe they're saying this is what we're buying and this is what we want to do to it. And it's just all a matter of really the prospective buyer and their input. But the more I think of it, I think honestly, at this point, the best case scenario, discussing all the other scenarios we talked today, is hopefully they can sell to one of these companies over here, like Disney, like Comcast, like HBO, Peacock. Well, you want to just sell everything to fucking NBC, which is that's Comcast, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be HBO because they're owned by Warner.
I know, but I'm
Discovery,
just
who is AEW.
Enter streaming service here.
Yeah, right. Listen, I hope he just sells it. He gets his money. He can
rides off into the sunset.
He can be like Andy Dufresne, get down to that island in Mexico and just live his life.
Don't get it.
God damn it!
Wait, did you just say you didn't get it?
I forgot. I forgot he doesn't watch movies.
I got it, Mike.
I know. I figured.
I don't get it. I don't watch movies.
I know.
I don't wrestling and
I don't want to explain
Shawshank
the
Redemption
reference.
is such a great movie.
It's funny too because I was gonna say, is that Shawshank Redemption? Yes. That was gonna be my guess, but I mean I've never seen it. I've never seen it though.
God damn,
it's a classic.
It's such a good movie.
And I worked in a prison for 10 years, and everyone was like, "What? You work in a jail and you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption?" And I'm like, "Fuck you! You think I want to come home from work and watch more work? You think I watch Jail when it's on Spike TV? Fuck out of here."
Cops? Well,
Cops
maybe.
I can watch because I'm not a cop.
Cops. That's true. That's true.
Cops I can watch because watching people getting taken down in the street is a lot more fun than watching for motherfuckers fight for their lives against dudes with sharpened toothbrushes.
This is true.
I forget who tweeted it, but it was true. Someone was like, "Live PD is just red zone for cops."
That is one of the most accurate things I've ever heard.
I can't remember who tweeted it, but I was dying laughing because it is true.
Yep. Live PD is just red zone for cops. Oh my god.
So we really need to come up with some topics and lighten the mood back up.
Yeah, I don't know what else is going on. I mean, it is Royal Rumble season. If you want to take a brief, what's the best Royal Rumble?
Oh well, 92.
Wait, what?
92.
What's the best Royal Rumble?
1992.
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't know years.
Okay,
the year then Ric Flair won.
I was always a big fan of the one at Madison Square Garden. In the early 2000s, 2000 maybe 2000.
Which one?
Yeah, that is my second favorite.
The one with the taxi cab coming out of the top.
Yeah, that's my second favorite because
Triple H and Cactus Jack. Yeah.
Yep, one of my. It was my favorite match for a long time.
If I had to pick a favorite, that'd probably be my favorite Rumble.
Yeah, that's my. Well, overall show.
Overall
it's
2000.
Show. Overall it's 2000.
Well, Rumble match.
Royal Rumble match 92. I mean, the Ric Flair one, that one was just fantastic. And you know what?
I was going to say that's the Ric Flair one, right?
Yeah. And the crazy thing about that one is you knew who every single participant was going into that match. Which, you get surprises every year nowadays, but then
not back then.
To me, it's like the best Rumble, and there were no like surprises or anything. It was just, you know who's in this? It's a fucking stacked match.
Yeah,
come fucking watch. Hulk Hogan is in it.
It's so funny watching
Hulk Hogan is in it.
It's so funny watching Hulk Hogan, like because if you have no context, you're like, why is Psycho sitting there, and why is Hulk Hogan pulling him out of the ring from the outside?
And why did that main event WrestleMania a couple months later?
Well, we can. Don't get me started on that.
Why did Papa Shango fuck that up? Why did we go back to the Ultimate Warrior and so on and so forth?
Right. No, right. Insert shit here. I don't know. The Rumble's coming. I feel like in maybe like next week we can pick a Rumble and actually just get back to what we do and talk about old shit.
Well, actually, I had the
Although
idea of
we say that, and then in the next week, the fucking sale will go through, and we'll
Been sold to the Saudis.
you bastard.
Fuck.
I do kind of want to talk about the retro episodes that were posted.
Oh yeah, we can certainly do a breakdown of
I
all of our.
want to go
stupid-
through some things we talked about
Mhm.
and maybe predicted and be like, well, let's see how well that aged.
I'll listen
okay with
along.
that.
I'll watch along.
No, not
A
no.
recap.
I'll just recap. I'll take some notes and I'll be like, well, we thought this. You know,
Mhm.
what were your Mike? Do you remember your thoughts on the Usos?
I do.
I do now. They're really setting these guys. They're setting these guys up for a title run.
Stuff like
They're
that.
gonna get a title shot soon.
Fucking genius.
I remember saying that it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan got injured. Got that match a few years later. So
Did they have a match? When did they have a match? Why am I forgetting?
Survivor Series. I can't remember the name, but that's when they were still doing the champions faced off.
Was it
And-
good?
Yes, it was very
Yeah.
good.
Why do I not remember this
It
at
was
all?
the very beginning of Champion of the Planet, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Like he was a
It
cocky
really
heel.
good.
He was a cocky
Oh,
heel
okay.
going
No,
into
I-
a match with Brock Lesnar.
That's insane. Actually,
It was go back and watch it. I can't remember what year it was.
I'll
Because
figure it out.
no,
I'll
what
have
happened
to.
was it was the year after AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar was SummerSlam.
Mm,
AJ Styles was about to go into SummerSlam again for the same match, but Daniel Bryan won the title on SmackDown,
mm.
like right before the pay.
It wasn't even a pay-per-view.
Man, unreal.
Ready to rumble.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. I kind of like having those surprises. It was the fact that the episode I think was taped was like really.
We can talk about Molly. There it is.
We
There
can.
it is. There's the pop.
We can go on.
That was so funny. Just code naming a girl on the show and then listening to the episode with the girl
With the
sitting next to
girl.
us
The fuck.
as we code named her Molly throughout the whole episode.
Uh,
As I was telling stories clearly about said woman.
God damn.
so this was
Unbelievable.
an interesting episode.
Yeah, it was up and down, but another good one for the
Yeah,
books.
Absolutely.
I think that I think some ring rust still needed to come off. So I
Yeah,
I think
plus,
we're
you
good.
know,
It's
I think
been a
we're
rough
good.
week. It's been a
It's
rough
been a
week.
wrestling has sucked this week.
mm,
Wrestling has sucked this week.
yeah. So we'll have to get back to
know what
I don't
didn't
mind
suck?
breaking down.
And I'm hoping I'm sure Sky watched it. I'm hoping you both did. The Last of Us.
I have to.
Yes,
Still. I heard it was fantastic
yes.
though.
It's
fucking-
so fucking good.
It was
I'm
so
not gonna
good.
spoil anything,
No.
but please watch
mean-
it. It's so good.
I
dude.
mean, if they follow the game, I know at least
Yes, but
at least part one, I know the story. But yeah, no spoilers.
but the great thing is there's you still could be spoiled.
It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Like
It's-
I think
it's-
for so far, fantastic fucking job.
Like,
oh,
is it?
I can't believe how good of a
Is
job
it
they
like
did on
frame
the
by
first episode.
frame, like copying the game, or
Nope.
is it like just telling its own story?
Nope.
It's
It
I'm
is
not gonna spoil it.
Right.
But what I will say is that there are certain scenes in the game that are shot like 1-to-1
No
to
shit.
the game.
Okay.
And that is
Okay.
really cool when you see those little Easter eggs.
Yeah. Right.
There's
But
certain dialogue that is literally 1-for-1 with the game, but they're doing a good job of setting up a story here.
And I'll say this. All I'm gonna say is they fill in the gaps.
All right.
Yeah, basically
that's-
that's what it is.
And
yeah.
that's kind of my favorite thing about it so far.
Well,
Yeah.
because I hate when people bitch at any adaptation where they're like, "Oh, it wasn't the same as the book." It's like, but they're sort of trying because, like, if you
No,
if
this is
you-
perfect because it's enough like the at least
Right.
the first episode. It is enough like the opening scene of the game, and
Mhm.
in certain parts, very very much like this the opening scene of the game.
like you're like
But it also does enough of as Skylar said, filling in the gaps in
Yeah.
between. So like how did the outbreak start and like what was like
Right.
the scene
Yeah,
of
you
that
kinda
city
don't
that
know in the
day
game,
because
right.
it spreads so quickly. If you remember in the game, it spreads like that, like so quickly, and they
'Cause
do
you
a good
just-
job of showing that happen throughout the
Okay.
day.
That's good because you just I know the game starts. You're just in the house, and all of a sudden, shit's going south.
Exactly. That's
then
how
you-
quick
and
it
then-
was.
Without
and then you're
spoilers, I'm
just
just gonna
running.
say that is not where the show starts.
All right, that's fair. All right, yeah, no, I need. They only have one episode so far, right? They didn't.
It's
like,
an
air-
hour.
now.
It's an hour and 20 minutes.
All right, but like I'm saying, like sometimes they start shows, they air 2 episodes or something. But if it's
No,
just
No,
one,
they only
then
released
it's-
one. They're going to release one every Sunday.
Sunday,
yeah,
I'm
that's what I
going to
figured.
be. I'm
Sunday
going
night.
to be watching feverishly. I'm sure.
Well, like
so-
I mean, I feel like
Apparently-
even if you've never played the game, you just saw who was cast, and you're like, oh, okay.
I was reading on
Like,
Twitter
like
today.
Pedro Pascal, yes, I'm in.
I was reading on Twitter today and yesterday because obviously it dropped a couple days ago now. But I was reading how there was people who are huge fans of the game who watched this first episode with like their families, their parents, people who have never played the game, had no idea it was based on a video game, just thought it was a new HBO show coming out.
Yeah.
They all watched it with these people, and these people loved the show. And then when the person in the tweet would tell them that it's based on a video game, they were shocked, absolutely astonished.
Because it's just a good like story. Like, I mean, it's
My
not.
favorite
But
video
it's
game
like-
in the last fucking 20
it's-
years.
It's a different story from like Walking Dead. Obviously, it's a different concept, but like it's kind of no different than that. Like, in a way.
It's
Although
Like I know,
kind of,
like yes, it's different, but like the concept of hey, this
yeah.
fucking
It's a-
weird thing. Like so it's
A
like
zombie
not-
apocalypse isn't a new idea, but this
Right.
is like a whole new kind of take on it, which is really
Yes.
cool.
exactly. It's what made the game great too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the same old shit.
Oh,
apparently, as soon as the show dropped, if you have like the premium PS Plus, you get a demo of the remake. I have the game, so
Like I fucking
I
have
saw
it on
that
like
today.
I have it on like 2 different consoles at this point. Like
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
still
funny
gonna
how
buy
they
it.
keep remaking it.
I saw that today that I could download the demo, but I just know I'm gonna end up buying it anyway. So I'm just
Mhm.
like, I might as well just wait until I
it
have the
might
money
even
to
be on
buy it.
sale right now. Honestly,
It's not. I looked today. It's still it's $70. Of course, it's not going to be on sale now. Not after that
But,
fucking
like,
episode dropped.
I was gonna say maybe check again on Thursday when the new sales drop.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll have to look, but I'll have to check it out because I want.
It's in my wish list, so I will be alerted when it does drop.
because I want to. I know even like Lisa saw the preview and was like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Man, no, that's a video game. Like, this was such a good game to play, so I want to watch this show." So I think
I feel like
maybe
video
tomorrow night
game
I'll watch it
video game
Yeah.
adaptations have finally been taken seriously, and
because
people
they've
are
been bad
actually,
forever.
The people are putting care into it. Eh?
Don't forget, Resident Evil came out this year on Netflix. There's been some other shitty video game things that have been coming out recently, so they're not all getting the respect. There's certain people that are doing it right, and I think that these guys are going to do this right.
Okay, so Witcher, even though they're doing it more based on the books, Castlevania is like one of my new favorite things ever.
I think that's over though, unfortunately.
No,
But I
well,
do
there's-
love it too.
There's going to be like a new protagonist, and
series?
it's going to
Yeah.
be there's going to be a new story.
Oh, a new Belmont?
I think so, but well, they probably had to be. But no,
Yeah.
they confirmed that. Yeah, that's
That was the end of
story
the
is
Trevor
over.
story.
That was the end of that story.
Yeah.
We're gonna have another one,
Bro,
Okay, I'm
whatever,
in.
bro.
I'm in
look,
for that. I love that
Look,
No,
show.
Castlevania
Super-
was fantastic.
look, man, Super Mario Brothers movie
That
coming
movie,
out this year.
I'm seeing that opening night.
What about Super Mario Brothers Super Show? Featuring your
mean-
boy, Captain Lou Albana.
Bro,
Luigi.
what a cast for this movie, by the way. I like
Yeah.
didn't really notice. Like Chris Pratt's Mario, Charlie Day's Luigi,
Charlie Day's Luigi's like
That's
the thing I'm
hilarious.
most excited
Uh,
about.
Jack Black is Bowser,
That's also been good so far in the previews.
Keegan Michael Key is Toad, Seth
Yeah, it
Rogen's
works.
Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong. That's
What's
like
her
the
name
notable-
from Queen's Gambit is Peach.
Oh yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yep.
She was in something else I just watched recently. I watched The Menu on HBO Max. That was like a throwaway movie, but it was kind of good.
Is it as star-studded as Ready to Rumble?
No, nothing is,
Okay, that's fair.
bro. I mean,
Or
bro,
how
come
about
on.
Rat Race? Rat Race was
It's-
pretty star-studded.
I love how I fucking love how you've seen Rat Race
I fucking
And
love
you-
Rat Race.
and you haven't seen Shawshank.
I love Rat Race. Rat Race is one of my favorite movies. I love John Lovitz.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
My favorite scene, one
I'm
of my
John
favorite scenes in that
Lovitz.
movie.
Jealous?
One of my favorite scenes in that movie, and it's a very quick scene but it's when John Lovitz first gets to Vegas with his family, and he tells his wife, he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna run downstairs and just check out what's around." And she's like, "Don't go gambling." And he's like, "Oh, no, I won't." And he goes down, and of course, the first thing he's doing is running through slot machines.
Yeah, of course.
One of my favorite jokes in that whole movie is how he just walks up to the first slot machine and goes, $1, and just walks away all disgusted because it's the dollar slot machine. He's like looking for the penny slots, and he's just like, $1. Ugh. And just walks away all fucking gross face. It's like, that's literally, I've done that so many times, just walking in. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll fucking play a slot. Let me see if I can find a penny or a nickel slot to play. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm walking down the dollar aisle, and I'm like, $1? Oh, who has money for that? You got to put $100 just to play 2 games in that thing. Ugh.
He's not wrong.
Those of
He
you
is
who
not
don't know
wrong.
how gambling and slot machines work, when they say $1, it doesn't mean $1 a pull.
It's-
It means
it- that-
$1 a line.
That's
And
$9
on a slot machine
probably.
with that. Then yeah, and some of
Nine's
today's
low.
modern slot machines, by the way, that has like about 70 lines that
I was
play.
gonna say, by the way, your penny slots, yeah, no, you're betting like $1.20 if you want to win anything.
If you want to do max credit, you're betting like $1.20 a pull on penny slots. If you want to play like even just the minimum on a penny slot, it's like 30 cents.
Yeah.
You're still like you're still not getting a pull.
I
for a penny,
suppose,
no
like,
matter what.
I suppose there's a way you can find a slot machine where you could literally play 1 penny, 1 line, but like you're not gonna win dick. Like you're just gonna
Well,
sit there.
If
Like,
that existed anywhere, it would probably be somewhere in Old Vegas. And I think they got rid of all that kind of stuff just like a few years ago.
That's
Because
true.
when
Yeah,
I first
you're
got
right.
here, they still had Old Vegas when I first came to visit as a tourist, my first year out here. They still, some of the hotels or some of the casinos on the old strip, Old Vegas, had the ones that when you pull the thing and you win, money actually comes out, and like quarters, and you can just fill a bucket full of
oh
quarters.
shit.
And that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's right.
I must have spent like fucking $50 on one of those things just to make like maybe $10 worth of quarters back. But it was
Yeah,
just so
that
much
makes
fun
sense.
just getting like watching quarters drop out of it. So I stuck around and I fucking just
Yeah.
threw like a 20 after a 20, and then I was like, fuck it, one more 10. But that was cool. But they got rid of that like the like 2 years after we came
Yeah.
back to the same spots, and they were all gone. They're all the ticket machines now.
You know, I mean, it's, I guess it's sort of the same, but like I noticed I hadn't been to Dave and Buster's in the longest time, and now Dave and Buster's got rid of the actual paper tickets. Everything just goes on.
Yeah.
Everything just goes on the card now. I was like, oh fuck, when did this happen?
I think the first time I went to Dave and Buster's, they were at their card. So it must have been a while for you.
Shit.
'Cause
I mean, yeah.
I don't think
guess-
I've ever been there for tickets.
Well, shit. I don't know. I remember having the fucking. You'd have
paper,
to like
yeah.
you'd have to make the trips to the counter for them to put the tickets on your card. But
Yeah.
I remember like, all right, here you go. Because I've mastered that football toss game at Dave and Buster's where you got like the 3 holes and then the shit that comes out of the side.
Yeah.
Because I look like a fucking idiot playing it. It's like the people that play like the Papa Shot with like a weird thing. Because like you can't throw spirals in that game. You have to just like take like the point of the ball and just like chuck it like this at like the hole. And
Underhand,
just like sidearm kind of, not underhand,
like
just
sidearm.
like literally like you're doing this.
You got to Mahomes it.
Yeah, kind of.
Shovel
And then like
pass.
the shit comes out of the side. One of them will say 99 yards. You just fucking nail. I'm the fucking man at that game. I fucking love Dave and Buster's.
Oh man, it's Dave and Buster's is like adult Chuck E. Cheese, and Las Vegas is
Mhm.
just like more adult Dave and Buster's.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
That's precisely correct.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
All right, boys. Well, hey,
now
it's
that
been
we've-
fun.
Now that we've run, where's the right? These motherfuckers.
We've
are
just been
talking
ranting for the
about-
past 20 minutes about random.
They're
shit.
talking about games, movies,
TV
gambling.
shows, gambling.
They're like, enough with the pop-ups.
Yeah, this section of the show has been brought to you by pop-ups.
Of course I do.
Good shit, pal.
Debt consolidation.
That
Gambling.
consolidation, gambling, enough. Enough with the pop-ups.
There it is for the bingo card, folks. Your
Oh,
your
man.
weekly Chappelle Show reference.
Every
We
time.
snuck it right in there, right at the end.
Yeah.
That was nice.
If you stuck around, you got a nice treat. Let's get the plugs in and let's get the fuck out of here. You can
Let's do
follow this podcast on social media, on Twitter at 6man tag, on Instagram at 6man tag podcast, both with the number 6. You bitch. Again,
aggressive.
Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whichever one you're listening on, awesome. Hit subscribe, hit follow, whatever the fuck you got to do on those different things. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit that little bell to get notifications when we upload, which is every Friday morning. Except last week, I did upload it a little early. I felt when I was uploading on Thursday night, I said, you know what? Make it public.
Let's go.
We're releasing it at like
LFG.
11 p.m. But that's our plugs. Find us, do your thing, tell your friends. All right, everyone else. CJ, plug away.
Well. You can see my fancy new background. Well.
Mike, are you
I
just
don't know
gonna,
why I didn't instinctually do
Mike,
that.
are you just gonna do that and not? Okay.
Do I have to step in and do it?
So I don't want to. I didn't want to step on Skylar's gimmick. So
All right,
that's
don't
really,
don't
that's
tell
what
me
it
you
is.
can't don't tell me you can't do that impersonation, Craig. I was there, okay?
I do love me a good Joel Gertner promo, I will say. But if you want to follow me and what I'm up to, there are now going to probably be some new ways to do that. So I'm assuming by the time this comes out, I'm going to have a Twitter up and running for the new project we mentioned at the beginning of the show, the Paperweight Podcast. And that's going to be at the Paperweight Podcast. That's going to be hosted by myself and John Hooten. We're going to have different people on. Usually, sometimes it'll just be the two of us. Sometimes it'll be me and him and a friend. Maybe you guys come on. His wife's going to do some stuff with us too. I know that sounded a little weird, but she knows what it means. Anyway, check it out, the Paperweight Podcast. And of course, if you're following the Paperweight Podcast, you might as well be following the Paperweight Project. And that is where me and John will be releasing a lot of our all of our music that we are working on together. Also, Skylar has a part in the Paperweight Project now, as he is on our latest release, which is the cover of the Cody Rhodes theme song Kingdom. You can go check it out at the Paperweight Project on SoundCloud, at Instagram. It is not up on YouTube yet. Now that I have my setup ready, I can at least do like a little logo video for that at some point, just so I can have it on YouTube as well. But follow us on all three, because there is going to be stuff coming out on all of the platforms very soon. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to the new podcast, getting some music out to you guys. And with that, I'm going to pass it on along to Mr. Skylar Strange, or I'm sorry. Oh, damn it. That's going to cost me a nickel. Skylar, Mr. Skylar, no last name.
I even forget.
What are you up to?
Did y'all download Rumbleverse yet?
Fuck no.
No. What's that?
It's the wrestling battle royale game.
All right. Is it,
has
how
one
much
of
does
the
it cost?
Free 99.
Free 99?
Free
Did you say
99.
free 99?
I said free 99. I feel like I mentioned
free
this last
99.
week. Yeah, free 99.
All right. So what's the name again?
Rumbleverse.
Rumbleverse. I'm gonna
Is your
look it up.
PlayStation in front of you?
No,
For God's
I'm
sakes.
gonna go get on right now, and I'm gonna go look it up, and I'm gonna go download it right now.
Yeah.
Because
Best
where
deal
I'm
don't
at, it's only 9:40, so I could still do things.
And where
Fuck
I'm at,
you.
I'm flipping CJ off. Is that going to be a weekly thing? Me flipping you off for living?
Probably, yeah. For
Yeah,
living in Las
probably.
Vegas, yeah, absolutely.
Probably, yeah.
I deserve it.
Oh,
I
it's-
deserve it.
it's
I'm the
six-
heel,
it's-
bro. Remember,
It's
I'm
a
used to
nice
heel
60 degrees.
I'm used to heel work, bro. I'm used to it.
Fair enough. Yeah, go download that so we could play that all on Twitch. And I don't know, some other games I might play, like Overwatch.
Or maybe The Last of Us again. Because I have to buy the remake and fucking play that now. But I just
Yeah,
don't want
we
to
could
spend
do that.
$70 until I win a poker tournament.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Also, I would like to play Borderlands.
I know. Well, now I'm finally getting settled in, so I can start doing some things.
Okay. Cool.
But
And I'll
I know-
Twitch all that whenever it comes to fruition.
I had to log into my PlayStation app on my phone, so now it alerts me every time that you're online. So when I just see you online, if I'm free, I'm just gonna hit you up and be like, Borderlands.
Make sure it's like after 8:30, because otherwise there's a good chance it might be my kid.
That
Doesn't sound like a problem for him.
yeah. I'll
Fair
just play
enough.
Borderlands with your son. Me and
right,
your
fair
son will
enough.
just beat it.
Fair enough.
It's gonna be like, I
After 8
wanted to
o'clock, you
play.
mean 5?
yeah.
not
Also,
possible.
yeah. That's
I don't
also
know if
true.
I'm flipping off CJ or Craig in this one.
I mean, Craig Francis is a heel.
Or
as
Craig,
well,
I'm
so,
sorry. I meant Bruce or Craig.
yeah.
What if you move the other way and then then you were just fucked? All right, man, 10 p.m. Oh, fuck, I'm in London. It's 3 a.m.
I'm in Japan right now. It's
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm
it
going to
is
work.
almost 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm in New Zealand. It's tomorrow.
You guys are living in the past. All right, boys. It's been a
all right,
lot of fun
boys.
This is
tonight.
good shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, shit, everybody. Hey, until next week when we'll have, I don't know, if we recap our I'm actually excited to do this now. If Skylar, no last name, wants to do all the work and take notes on it, I'm in. If he wants to rapid fire shit at us, then I'll respond. Because
Sure. One of them
we-
was No Way Out, so that's not a problem.
all right, yeah.
One of them was WrestleMania that year. I think that
How
was
in
the
the
Daniel
fuck-
Bryan one.
How in the fuck did we think we were gonna keep up with like truly doing a weekly like wrestling recap? Like I don't like I know we record this every week now and we technically could do that, but it's just one of those where like holy shit, I wish like I just don't have the
Well, this is a
hours
lot
to
more
watch.
fun.
Here's the
It
thing.
is.
Back then we were young and thus had the energy to do this at the time of night that we're doing it and still
Yeah.
go to the Red Light Diner right afterwards.
I could go for a road dome rap.
Road Dome rap. Yeah. Love a good Road Dome.
What's
rap.
that actually called? Because I forget.
Roadster
Ah.
rap. Dude, do you know how many times I've ordered that item on the menu and have come like this close to saying Road Dome rap? But you know what's worse?
Can I get the
than that?
road?
You know what's worse than the Road Dome rap?
What?
This was one from DJ Lupo, which I'm sure you'll remember when I bring it up.
Oh,
but
no.
the smoothie there, the strawberry banana smoothie, was called the RLD smoothie for Red Line Diner smoothie, and DJ Lupo affectionately renamed it what's that? The Real Little Dick smoothie, because I ordered it. And I'm like, I'm gonna get an RLD smoothie, and he goes, "What's that? The Real Little Dick smoothie?" And every time I ordered it after that, I was this close to saying "Real Little Dick" to the waitress. I might have said it once or twice when I was drunk. Can I get a Real Little Dick smoothie? What? I mean the RLD.
Oh my fucking god, that's really fucking funny. Oh my god.
Those were the two things on the menu that every time I ordered, it would like I would have to think about it, like don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. Don't say road dome, don't say road dome, don't say road dome.
Don't say doing your wife. Don't say doing your wife.
Yep, yeah, there you go. Same
Doing
energy.
your
Son.
son.
Son? All right, we gotta sign off, boys. We're getting off the rails here.
It's been
Let's
off the
sprinkle some
rails.
crack on and
Hey,
get out of here.
until next time. Peace, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Rest in peace, Jay. What?
Oh no.
Jay Briscoe.
Jay
Oh
Briscoe.
no.
Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Cut off the end of the episode.
I'm leaving it in. It was funny.